Welcome to our discussion on Rory Vaden's Take the Stairs, 7 Steps to Achieving True Success. For me, this was a definite recommendation to read. Uh, what I liked so much about this book was that Rory Vaden honors the difficult, that the ascension to success, that journey, he doesn't sugarcoat it to make it palatable or offer any sort of psychological twists that trick you into thinking that the road is a lot easier than it is, that it's difficult, that we need to face into that discomfort with self-discipline and with action. So for me, this was real talk that that in order to achieve what I want to achieve in life, that I have to commit, that I have to look at how it is that I might be creating my own obstacles. And he charts a process on how to combat those. So for me, this was a fantastic book. What did you think, Edwin?
Yeah, thank you, Anjannette. So yeah, I absolutely also recommend this book. I think it's, life is about action, and we all need to develop skills that enable us to accomplish more. And so procrastination is one of those things that really sort of take away from our ability to accomplish the things that we want in life. And I like the way that the author, Rory Vaden, broke everything down and allows us to sort of diagnose what our problems are so that we can, visualize it, so we can see where we're making our mistakes so that we can make the corrections needed in order for us to accomplish more. So a wonderful book, I highly recommend. I think anyone that wants to reach a certain level of success in their life, this is a great tool to have in your back pocket in order to allow you to do more with the time, with the 24 hours that we all are given each day. We're all given the same 24 hours. The only difference is what each of us decide to do with it. Simon.
Yeah, I've been reading a lot of nonfiction books, and I think this book by Rory Vaden is one of those that we can apply very easily, right? It's not theoretical or anything like that. And so I do recommend this to everyone that wants to again do something with your time, with your life, actually, right? And if I were to pick 3 things out of the book, would be planning, right? It talks about how we should plan, we should visualize, we should know what we want. The second thing would be you talk about focus and commitment, right? Because if you have a plan, but if you're not able to commit or focus on it, very quickly the plan would just go to waste. And then the final thing that he talked about is, to me is very important, is the action, right? We need to take the action. Planning without action is, again, useless, right? Or action without a good plan, again, that might go, not where you actually wanted it to end up. So I think all 3, you have the plan, have a very good, commitment and focus, and then finally take the action, right? That, to me, equal to, success, right? Or at least give you a high chance of, being successful in whatever you want to, to do. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of the ideas in the book that I'm sure a lot of people might have, thought of it, might have been doing that. I think once in a while, you come across a book like this, kind of reminds yourself, what are we doing? What have I been doing? And sometimes it's just being a good reminder or refresher. So I highly recommend this one, and hopefully it'll be helpful to everybody.
Yeah, and thank you, Simon. And I like to sort of just also add 3 takeaways as well, because I also identified 3 additional items that really impacted me. And my 3 takeaways are the 3 faces of inaction, right? So people are typically inactive because there's fear or they're scared to do it. There's entitlement, which is I shouldn't have to do it. And then there's, of course, the perfectionism, meaning if I can't do it right, I'm not going to do it at all. So diagnosing the 3 types of inaction was helpful for me. Also identifying the 3 types of procrastination, right? You have, of course, classic procrastination where you're just delaying what we know we should be doing, unconscious procrastination, which is creating avoidance, doing low quality work that is not a priority, just to sort of feel like you're doing something instead of doing what you should be doing. And then, of course, there's priority dilution, where you know your goals and you allow your attention to focus on less important tasks, which is which is the example of the email inbox. And then, of course, so those were like the procrastination, figuring out where I'm going wrong was helpful. And then also looking at the inaction was also helpful. And then also the last point I want to make was a topic I think it was a chapter in the book where he talks about the harvest principle. And that chapter really resonated for me because I've noticed that my life at times sometimes has peaks and valleys, and that's normal. That's acceptable. That's okay. The harvest principle talks about how farmers, when it's time to harvest, they spend 18 hours a day to pick the fruit or to acquire whatever they've been planting or growing all season, and how they over allocate their focus and over allocate their attention in order to make meaningful progress in critical areas. And that same concept, that same principle can easily be applied in our own lives when we have areas or times that are not permanent, that are temporary, where we have to show hyper focus in order to accomplish something great. So the book itself, of course, I recommend it. And those are the 3 reasons why. Anjannette, yeah, any thoughts there?
I really appreciated, like I mentioned, the real talk in this book. So Edwin, you mentioned the harvest principle and this imbalance of action. We tend to think of things that we need to balance our day, that we need to sort of balance out our schedules, both in the short term and the long term. And Rory Vaden says, no, you will achieve success through the imbalance by hyper focusing when you need to hyper focus, and then to reap the benefits of what you sowed at a very specific time after that harvest has been arduously completed. So again, facing into the discomfort. So he, like I mentioned, he doesn't sugarcoat anything, that this isn't going to be an easy journey, and to honor the difficult, but also to embrace that fear, the sense of perfectionism he talks about, that things are never going to be perfect, that if you have to move forward scared, that action is actually a cure for fear. So I think that he offers these nuggets of things that we know, but tend to just sort of put aside because we know that we just have to steamroll ahead, and where we tend to wait for that perfect moment to really gain momentum. And so for me, what was so amazing about this book was creating that space for you to figure it out on your own, and to delve deep into your courage and your integrity and your honor to just act and go forward, no matter where you're at, that there are no perfect conditions. There is no perfect moment. We just have to step into it.